Hello, my name's Nick from Speedy Swimming. I'm the head coach and founder of Speedy Swimming, and I just wanted to share with you a new product feature we're offering as part of the video analysis feature, which is actually going to be like voice over on top of your videos once you have a video analysis. So this is a guy called Adam. He's a very good runner, looking to go elite triathlete level, but he's just working on his swimming. So I'm just going to give you like a live or like kind of pre-live video analysis of him. So Adam's swimming about 145 pace per 100, as you'll see in a second. There's quite a lot of like stroke flaws that we can see here. So he's crossing over on entry, needs to work on his body rotation. His timing of his arms is a little bit off, because he's not really holding one arm in front of his head for 1 second. So just needs to work on the glide a bit more. We can see that he's windmilling quite a lot here and bending at the wrist just in the catch as well. The catch is just a little bit slow, so what I'm going to do is just run through stroke flaws and then stroke corrections with drills as we go through this whole process. So yeah, his elbows are basically leading in the catch. He's not like pulling and using like an early vertical forearm and catching the water better. Here you can see that he's actually crossing over on entry quite a lot, and that will effectively be creating a lot more drag and resistance. It's like creating a lot of barrier in front of you. Swimming is all about technique, efficiency, being smooth in the water, having high body position. And with water being 800 times denser than air, we know that we just basically have to become a lot more streamlined, reduce drag and resistance to an absolute minimum here. So other things we can have a look at, his strokes actually come in quite short. If you look at the bottom of the screen there, his hands are coming out really short by his waist quite a lot of the time. So he's missing a large proportion of the stroke, which can actually equate to about 10 to 20 centimeters on each stroke length. The other things we're seeing here is his right hand is entering like thumb first, and then his palm is slicing across underwater. So it's kind of like what we call like winging the elbow. So here you can see the pace he was actually swimming at beforehand. Adam's actually swimming now at 130 pace. This was done about 18 months ago. So here we can see the right hand sweeping across and under. Look at the pitch and shape of the palm as it finishes. So his palm is finishing facing his hip. So he's losing like purchase and pressure on the water. He's also slicing across his body underwater instead of actually pushing water back and keeping his forearm pointing backwards as well. You can see the left arm comes down pretty straight too, so he's missing the catch there quite a lot. These are all areas that we address with Adam. He's swimming a lot better, and that we look at with every swimmer. We'll work through the most pertinent stroke drills and corrections within a swim video analysis session. We'll initially do like 2 to 4 minutes of actual swimming where we record and then play the videos back and explain what's actually happening and work through a plan and explain the plan, what we're going to be actually doing for the day. Each session's an hour, so you can see there's lots of feedback as we go along, coaching and technique points. Other things Adam's doing here is he's turning his head to breathe. He's not actually breathing too much out underwater, which is one of the things. We want to work on like exhaling more underwater. We're just going to switch views a little bit in a second as well, but you can see it's now going to go back up to normal speed. The right hand is sweeping out after the entry, and then like it's going quite wide. He's losing the catch. He's slipping quite through the catch, and by over rotating at the last point, as you can see when he's breathing, he's actually sinking a little bit in the water here. So there's lots of things going on. He's exhaling quite late. He's holding on to his breath. By holding on to your breath as well, you're basically going to be becoming negatively buoyant in the water. So you're what that means is that your upper body becomes more buoyant and it sticks up in the water, and your legs drop too. So the drills we started to work on with Adam, the main ones we're going to look at body roll. So he should be rolling from his hips to 45 degrees each side, almost to the point where he's never flat in the water. So we can see here that the first thing that turns with Adam here is his head, and then his shoulders and his hips are following. So it's not driven from his hips. And the hips are actually the most powerful muscle group in your body. They comprise of like your glutes and your core and your obliques. Another thing we'll look at is rotation timing. So for example, when your right hand is coming back through the water, you should be turned to the right hand side of your body as well. So when your left arm's coming through, you should be turned to your left. He's just a little bit out of sync here. What we've done here is we've put some paddles called forearm fulcrums on Adam to try and stop him kind of crossing over a little bit, flatten out his palms for the catch and help him glide a bit more. So we've been working on gliding and rotating. We're trying to get him to push through the back of the stroke a lot more. So you can, you'll see a different view coming up in a second. You can see he's starting to bend his elbows a bit more and utilise his lats and his back muscles much more. This was obviously work in progress during the session, and it takes time for these new techniques and drills to come through. Usually about 6 to 8 weeks on a neuromuscular level. And some people would choose to have lessons once a week, every couple of weeks, once a month, or maybe every 3 months. It really depends on you and your budget. But what we can see here with the fulcrums is he's not leading with the elbow quite as much here, and he's not bending through the wrist. He's actually bending through the elbow and achieving a much better forearm, early vertical forearm position. We're next going to start work on a bit of body rotation coming through, to get him to work on that. But when we're doing swim drills, it's really important, and this is so key to learn. Swim a little bit slower than you're used to swimming. Slow it all down and just work on one drill at a time. Don't allow yourself to work on 6 or 8 drills, or let your mind kind of drift, because you won't do any of them well. What we want to be doing here is just, focusing and zoning in on one drill at a time. That's so important here. This is always going to help him with his stroke length. So another drill we've been doing here is touch thighs, trying to lengthen out the stroke, give him an extra kind of 10 to 20 centimeters on the actual stroke itself. You can see we've got him breathing a lot better now as well. He's exhaling much more underwater. So that's all coming through a lot better. And yeah, there has been research done as well on stroke length. 10 centimeters, if you miss 10 centimeters, that's a minute over 1500 meters. We're just going to have a bit of a look at Adam's breathing here at the moment as well. So I know Adam usually breathes every 3. What that will actually do is put you into oxygen debt a lot more. If you think about it, your head is underwater half the time you're swimming, and if you breathe every 3, it's even more. It's not like running and cycling here, where you can breathe as regularly or as easily as you want. And one other thing you want to make sure you're doing is breathing from your diaphragm. That is so important. If you chest breathe, you're going to struggle. So breathing timing-wise, Adam's breathing in quite late. And what we mean by that is the first point he actually gets a chance to have an inhale breath, as you can see, is when his hand's by his waist or his thigh. Really, really late. He's missing a big opportunity to breathe in a lot more. And that will effectively mean that CO2 levels build up in his lungs, lactic acid levels build up in his muscles, and he'll effectively just get a little bit slower, a little bit slower, a little bit slower. So when we talk about pacing awareness control or pacing efficiency, that's so, so key. Whether you're doing 100 meters efforts or 200s, or you're doing 400s, or you're doing, a 1500 meter swim in an Olympic distance triathlon. Okay, so we've covered quite a lot. So what we've basically worked on with Adam is gliding, body roll. We've also worked on the timing of his arms, trying to front quadrant swimming, trying to keep one arm in front of his head. Touch thigh, push at 90, and glide and rotate. So this is just what we're going to be doing in the summer of this year as well. So at Hailing Island, 1-to-1 open water swimming coaching lessons. From June, we'll see that, and we look forward to hearing from you. And thanks for joining. Any questions? We just seen a link pop up, so it's speedyswimming.co.uk/swim video analysis. Thanks very much.